What's going on, my lovers? My name is DonMahLuvinLandry, and welcome back to Let's Find Larry. Now look, nothing has really changed. There hasn't been a big update yet, but the dev is planning on updating this game. But the reason I want to jump into this, and I don't do this very often, is because the lore, and I want to kind of explain and find more secrets that's within Let's Find Larry. Maybe little details that we've never seen in the past before. And I don't know, I think this game is just such a gem. It's such a masterpiece of a game that I really just find myself super attracted to it. I want to jump in here, see if I can find some more things, and just kind of explain the lore as we go along, because I just feel like that's really interesting, and I didn't really touch base on it in the last original episode that I played this. So hey, I hope y'all are doing well, having a great day. Go ahead, give me a high five. And enough talk, let's get into the shit. So, from what I know, this game takes place in a city called Middlewood, and we are introduced with the first character right here. Oh god, what's his name? His name's Findo. Now, I really don't understand, his whole purpose. Is he, friends with the character we play as? Or is he just kind of like a figment in his imagination? I feel like he's a real person in this world. I don't really understand the purpose besides him, really teaching us the introduction of the game and how to use the tutorials on how to, flip the map and everything. I feel like this is from the perspective of us who is a human like this, because we do eventually get dropped into the world, but this is just how we see how we're looking for people within the world. I don't know if that makes any damn sense or not, but you know, I'm going with that. So there we go, we found him. Great. And this will become an ongoing theme for the rest of the game, as we know. And so the real game starts. So spoilers ahead, by the way, y'all. We start in the park and we're greeted with a beautiful day, and off in the distance we see, lo and behold, who? Larry.
Hello.
Well, spoilers, that's not Larry. We find out and discover later that this is a well-known serial killer, Willie Mack, who just so happens to be using Larry's face, who he had skinned off, and replaced his face. I don't know how that works or how nobody notices it, but it's creepy as hell, I know. And that's how we notice him as Larry, right? A friend from high school. I never forgot his face. Notice there we only mention his face, which is what Willie Mack is wearing right here. My best friend from high school. And that's the worst part, that this is our best friend. So throughout the whole game, we're trying to figure out why Larry, our best friend from high school, is running from us and wanting us to not interact with him, to leave him alone as he claims. And we will discover that later, that he's actually Willie Mack, a serial killer who just so happened to come into this town and wreak some havoc. Now, we don't know why Willie Mack is doing this, but I have a good feeling why, that he has lost his damn mind. We'll get to that later on when we get to the shits. He's the talk of the town. We haven't seen each other in years, so we haven't seen Larry in a long time, but he is the talk of the town. And we'll see later on when the other guy brings the newspaper up, the detective, that he's won some town award or something. We actually go out of our way to interact and try to say hello to Larry. It's been a long time, we haven't seen him, and right into the game it drops us. And from here on out, we're trying to find out why Larry here is not trying to talk to us, why he's trying to avoid us. So every time we click him, we find Larry, and it's weird because you could tell something is just off about him. Why is he so weird looking? And I think as the game goes on, we kind of see his face start to droop a little bit, that he's wearing a skinned face. We'll get to that later, y'all. Right off the bat, everyone in this whole city is fucking ugly. Everyone, every single one of them. But Larry always stands out because everyone's pulsing, and the game really wants you to focus on Larry here. Now, there's a really cool detail later on that we'll get to once the game gets going, but let's go ahead and click him. By the way, Germ Food has actually shared something on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, about a picture of this man. I have a feeling that he has to do with the new update. Something about this guy is going to play a role, and I don't know who he is or what role he's going to play, but something about this man, and I'm going to try to look for him more as we progress, is going to be an importance in the new update that's coming out. And here we see him actually hiding behind people. So as the game progresses, he's becoming more smarter about which spots he wants to hide at and where he wants to go, but at the same time he's panicked. And here we are, we actually get an introduction to the city of Middlewood. We are exiting the park, and here we are actually arriving into the city, and you notice that this is a big populated town with a lot of people, and we see that more and more as the game goes on. So here we are actually in the whole city of Middlewood. This is seeming like the entrance of it, like right when you go into town, you got cars passing by. I mean, it's a busy city. That's all I can really say about this. And here's where I noticed this, y'all. The first time we noticed the detective, I don't think he has an actual name yet. I could be mistaken. If anyone knows, let me know down below in the comments section. But here's our introduction to him, and notice how far away he is from Larry. But that will change. That will change. And Larry's reaction to when he's close is a very, very small detail that I really, really like. So let's click on Larry, and here we are again, more of the Middlewood city. Many people. Here's the detective up here. As you see, he is getting closer to Larry because Larry is right here. Detective is right there. And notice now that Larry starts to begin to kind of tremble a little bit as we like see him. And he will begin to tremble a lot more as the detective gets into it. That's the detail I really, really like. Here again, once again, we got the guy again. I don't know, what do we want to call this guy for now? We'll just call him Green Shirt Guy. There's Green Shirt Guy. I don't know what his role in this is, once again, but as Germ Food has showed, he's going to be a big significance to something. Larry. There's Detective, and notice now, he is much closer to Larry. Look how close he is to Larry now. And here's where we get our first introduction to Larry saying, "Are you following me?" So when I played that first and read that, I was wondering, okay, well, why is he not being so friendly? If we were best friends in high school, something's a little off here, right? It's also kind of weird. I noticed, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but there's also like very familiar looking characters to Larry, like this guy. He looks a little different, but something oddly is just like reminiscent. Like I said, I don't know if that's intentional or not. And the one thing I found really funny is there's a very obvious like Where's Waldo character right here with the striped red and white shirt. I thought that was really cool because that's what this whole concept of the game is based off of, is like a Where's Wally, Where's Waldo inspired horror thriller game. So the fact that they actually added him in here is really cool. So it looks like he kind of lost him a little bit. Larry's still on the run.
You found Larry.
Oh, and I just noticed, did y'all see his head peek up at the bottom of the shits down there? Yo, that's a cool little detail. Little detail that I've never noticed, that his head will slowly start to pop in the corner. Because we start to like notice that he is there more. And here we go. Here's our first introduction of Willie Mack, y'all. Here we get the signs that say Willie Mack, and then there's a number. I can't read that number. I don't think it's supposed to be real, but where's the murder at? We get some sort of like off feeling until we see the actual crime scene. I didn't get to see the shits here, but I'll put it right there where y'all can see it. We see a crime scene of a man whose face is torn off, and that leads me to believe that that is Larry, who he had actually killed to take his face to hide from the police. So that crime scene right there, that's what I assume and guess is Larry, or our best friend, but we have no idea that he is dead, and we're just running after Willie Mack, who just so happens to be wearing our best friend's face. By the way, where's Detective? Detective is really close to him, by the way, in this shot. He is like getting closer and closer and closer. All right, now we see Detective in a alley with a bunch of people. And is that Findo right there? I just know, is that Findo with the hat? I think it might be. He's starting to really hide from us. He's hiding in a window now, and he's pulsing for some reason. Maybe to give the player a better understanding that he's actually in the window or not. I don't know if it's a visual cue or if he's just panicked because he's noticing the detective is getting closer to him. And now he says, "Hey, quit it. Leave us alone," he says. So he is starting to get panicked, and he's starting to hide more often because now he's hiding behind trees and stuff, not just in the plain open. By the way, these are a bunch of businessmen. We are in like the, I would assume, like business part of town of Middlewood now. We have left like the area with all the shops and stuff. We're actually in the business areas because everyone has briefcases, everyone's dressed up, they got those ties nice and tight. And now he's actually calling out, "Help somebody, stalker," because he's starting to get worried that we're actually following him. And now we get a music change. And this music change is very inspired because he just said that we are stalking him, and now is the part where he starts to really get panicked. So that like upbeat of music is a key of telling us that he's starting to get panicked more, right? They're starting to become more like city people within this area, not so much businessmen. So I assume this part, we're starting to leave more of the business area and go into another part of the town of Middlewood. Yep, and now he's really getting panicked. He's literally begging us, saying, "Please." And now here we go, Middlewood Mall. Let's go ahead and click on Larry. We're actually going to go into the mall, and some interesting stuff's going to happen. A lot of stuff, a lot of different like stores and stuff. I think it's funny that he's actually hiding in the Halloween store with Halloween masks as he's wearing a mask of someone's human flesh. So that's a little cool Easter egg for those like who revisit the game, that you actually notice that he's actually in a Halloween mask store while he's wearing Larry's face essentially. So I think that's a really cool, neat little Easter egg that we got there. And now he's gonna lead us to a bathroom, which is another murder. Now I don't know who this murder is related to. Or is this Larry? Maybe this is like an officer who got really, really close, like a detective, to discovering who he really was, so he killed him. But we get another closer visual of have you seen him? And obviously it's Willie Mack. But there's just really, really small details like that that are really chalked into here. And this is where Larry loses his damn mind.
You found Larry.
Yep, this is where he's starting to lose his mind. And if y'all notice, he's holding the face, probably because now it's starting to droop off of him. And he's panicking a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it. And now we notice that the detective is very, very close to Larry. He is right up on him. And he's starting to really tremble now. If you look at him, he's starting to really tremble that he's close to him. And it gets so bad for Larry that now he literally starts driving cars. I think he's in one of these ones. He literally starts driving from us.
Larry.
And then obviously wrecks his car because he's in such a rush to pass traffic that he was gonna go around, but he smashed into the freaking light pole.
You found Larry.
Now, I never brought this up before because I kind of did it in the last episode, but all these people on the rooftop who are watching him, they are all part in with the detective, and now that they have an idea that he's here, it's actually going to change to nighttime, and they're really going to start pursuing him here now. There he is. He is definitely on the run now. And now is the point where they really, really start honing in on him because they have a feeling that they got him, right? And this is our first, like, actual introduction to the detective. Like I said, I don't think he has a name, but it paints him to be the bad guy at first. And it tries to paint us to think that Larry is the good guy. That he's still Larry. Classic germ food looking style of a character too. Like this guy looks so cool for germ food. All right, notice you've been keeping a close eye on somebody. So not only has he been watching Larry, he's been watching us as well. And this is when he shows us the Middlewood Times. Nice guy Larry, because even Middlewood thinks that it's Larry. Popular local Middlewood resident being honored by the mayor for his several acts of kindness. Read about more on page 2. So even the whole town of Middlewood thinks that he is Larry and not Willie Mack, because they literally awarded him with some sort of medal for several acts of kindness. So Willie Mack actually like went on his killing spree previously and then came here, killed another man by the name of Larry, took his face and started doing good deeds to paint himself as a nice guy like nothing has ever happened. So that was actually, I think that was the clue for them to actually come to Middlewood to find him. I don't know how far away they had previously been tracking him down, but this guy has like a serious vendetta on tracking down Willie Mack. But now we can actually start searching trash cans in the really, really shady part of town. We have completely left like the good areas of Middlewood. We're in more of like the more ratchet areas, dark, spooky areas. And this is kind of a tone setter for like what is about to happen in the game as well. So like this atmosphere change by germ food is so genius because this is when we start learning the truth of Larry and that he's not actually Larry. And obviously the game gets really dark from here. Now this is one of my favorite parts because we get like a lot of lore here on Larry. I don't know if he's lying to us or trying to trick us, but just watch what he says. So here it's wanting us to like feel bad for him, I guess. He says, you saw them, didn't you? And this is actually the first time that he's actually interacting with us without freaking out or saying, leave us alone. They took my family. I don't know if that's true or not, or if he's just trying to play that off to make us feel bad for him. But maybe that is why Willie Mack has lost his damn mind. Maybe he was a previous like criminal. They were looking for him. They took his family. And also, I don't know if he means took as in killed or took as in they literally took them to find out where he was or what happened to him. Obviously, he's a previous murderer beforehand, but he said they took him and I don't know what they've done. So maybe that is the reason on why he's absolutely lost his mind, but I don't know if that's for sure or not. He couldn't possibly not even have a family. The game doesn't really specify. And I think it's interesting that he calls him Larry because he's mocking him right now. And he tells us to point out where he's hiding. He calls him Larry because that's Larry, but he knows that that's Willie Mack. And Willie Mack knows that he's toying with him, calling him Larry like that. Like, there we go, we find him. And he's actually crying. He's literally to the point where he's crying. Now, I do wonder, because Germ Food did announce on Twitter X that Germ Food is actually adding a different ending to the game. So I wonder if we have the choice there to show where he's at or to send them to the club or to actually point him out. This ending would obviously lead to what we've already seen, but maybe we tell them that he's in the club and he takes off and we get a different ending somewhere there. But regardless, that's just my thought. I think there's going to be an option here to point out and send them in there and lie, or to tell the truth where he's at, and that could possibly lead to a second ending where we team up with Larry. And here we see him outside of the club. He is completely starting to lose his mind because his whole plan of hiding in Middlewood is gone now. His chances of, he's gonna have to start a whole new, like, scheme again, right? And this is actually the hardest part. He is starting to hide really well now as he hides in the darkness.
You found Larry.
This is the part where he loses his damn mind. Now, we get a lot of good lore here. Now, there's actually a really cool secret here, and I do want to activate it for y'all in case y'all didn't see my TikTok on it, but there's a donut that pops up on the side of the screen right here, and when you click it, this happens. And it only pops up for like a quick second. There we go. Now, I've already seen this, but it spawns a donut up top, and you can't shoot it. And it just bounces around. Cool little secret that they added, and it just kind of like repeats, I think. I don't think there's any real significance of it. And there the actual song ends. It finally ended, but there's still nothing we can do with it. We just have to shoot him in the end. So finally, they had shot Willie Mack after all this time, and lo and behold, it's us who did it. And this is... the music's still playing. So they have been tracking Willie Mack down for a while. He says, we got you trapped, there's no escape. And they literally got him cornered. Like, this is the moment they have been waiting for a long time, to finally put an end to Willie Mack. You've been hiding for long enough. I dedicated half of my life hunting you down. So that right there gives y'all an idea of how long Willie Mack has been murdering people. Literally half of my life. And this man is not young, as we've seen. He seems like a middle-aged man. And look at him, he's actually starting to tremble. The time's up. Willie Mack. And this is the moment where we finally connect that Larry is not Larry. He's Willie Mack, obviously. The man on all the posters. And he tries to even say, I'm just Larry. And he says, cut the shit, take it off. Take off Larry's face is what he's saying. When I heard the fuzz caught you and put you behind bars, it was the worst day of my life. So they cut him, put him behind bars, but did he escape from prison? Well, my question is, why does he have such a vendetta on Willie Mack? Did he have his family targeted by Willie Mack? Is that why he's trying to find and kill him so much? Or is this more of a pride thing for his ego? I think it's because something tragic happened in his life. Maybe Willie Mack took someone from his life, and that's why he swore and dedicated half of his life to track him down. I think that's the lore behind this guy. Like I said, there's no clear mention. It's just speculation, but that's my thought. I mean, why else would you dedicate half of your life trying to track someone down? And this is the final moment where we realize it is Willie Mack. He is a psycho son of a bitch. And man, this part is just so freaking cool. I don't know how he kills everyone else, or how everyone else misses him. But this is the part where he like actually, yep, they shoot at him. And obviously he's a fucking nutball. My boy's a psycho. That's just crazy. The fact that the detective is dead now. So he doesn't get his revenge. And as we see there for a split moment before it cuts, he killed everyone else too. So I don't know what everyone else was doing or how they missed bullets. Maybe my boy should have been more accurate. And there goes Willie Mack running in the shadows. Now, I've played with this part like many times coming up, and I can't find like anything new in it. I think it's just triggered on a timer. There's Larry's face. A legit cutout of Larry's face. And there's Willie Mack, the psycho behind his face. Our friend from high school has been murdered. Couldn't just leave me alone. Larry, it's me, your friend from high school. So even he knew that we were just tracking him down because he was a friend. It was just a facade he was playing to keep us cool. And even here he says, I thought I had a good thing coming until you came along and ruined everything. Lo and behold, we were just looking for Larry, our best friend, who we just so happened to run into in the park. Looks like I need a new place to hide. So this opens it up for sequel 2, which Man, I am so excited for a sequel for this game. I hope there's another big reveal of something that's gonna happen like this, because this game's, like I say, it's such a gem of a game with the lore and how the unique like details that the game puts in. I wonder if he'll scream as much as he did. I think he's referencing Larry, our best friend, right there, because he has plans now to end us, cut all ties, and start all over again, which is what he does at the end of this. So yeah, I've tried like looking around, y'all, and I think it's just on a timer, because I've tried to like avoid shadows, I've tried to go into the light areas, but nothing really works. He still just jump scares you. And that is the moment where he cuts
news
time.
Coming from the quiet town of Middlewood this morning.
Now we actually get the news broadcast of what has happened.
Where a dismembered body of a man was discovered today in Middlewood Park.
And wait a second, they just said a dismembered body of a man was discovered today in Middlewood Park. The park where we started at the game. So did he kill Larry in the park and they just discovered Larry's body, or was Larry's body in the city? I don't know. Either or, if you notice on all the victims, their faces have been removed. So maybe he collects them and he uses them as like a disguise for when he goes to another place.
The police cordoned off the park and discovered trash bags that had been buried underground.
Yep, so he had buried trash bags underground. Right where we start too. That's the first location of the map.
Trash bags containing severed body parts.
And that's where he buries all the body parts of the people.
Attempts to identify the body have proven difficult, as the authorities state that the face of the man had been removed.
Yep, and there and behold, that was Larry in the trash bags. He took his face in the park.
The police are asking for anyone to step forward with any information, or anyone who might have seen or heard anything in Middlewood Park between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. The extreme graphic nature of this crime bears an uncanny resemblance to the Willie Mack murders that haunted the town for many years.
Yep. Now, I don't know if this town is going to find out that all those other people have been murdered and we have been murdered. I assume they will eventually. But by then, Willie Mack's going to be gone on a whole different shits, doing other shits.
Willie Mack, notorious for the murder and mutilation of 17 people between 1996 and 1999. Some of the most graphic of the murders committed in the town of Middlewood.
So for 3 years, Willie Mack has been murdering people in Middlewood from 1996 to 1999. Or wait a second, was he murdering people in Middlewood and then left and then came back? Because this says that he murdered people from 1996 to 1999. So maybe those previous murders that we zoom into were those murders between 1996 and 1999. I don't think that's referencing to what we just witnessed.
In the year 2001, he was apprehended and sentenced to life in prison.
Oh, that's what happened. So he was actually sentenced to prison in 2001 and then he escaped. That was what the detective was saying. He heard that he was behind bars, that he couldn't shoot his sick head.
Although, only last year, Mr. Mack was presumed dead when a prisoner transport vehicle relocating him crashed and burst into flames.
I totally forgot about this part, so like if you made it to the end of the video, you know why. But apparently they thought he was dead, and that's why he escaped from prison, killed Larry, took his face, dug underground, hid his body parts underground, and wow.
The Middlewood police will be issuing a statement shortly.
So I wonder if in Let's Find Larry Part 2, we're going to actually see them like reference this. I don't know. I don't know if it's even going to take place in Middlewood, or if they're just going to reference Middlewood. I don't know.
It's going to be a beautiful day, folks. Sunny spells all around.
Sunny spells all around. I don't know what sunny spells means. Alright, y'all. Well, there y'all have it. I hope y'all didn't mind that I jumped back into this and kind of like gave my thoughts. Gave some lore to those who maybe like were wandering deeper into this game. But I think that this is just such a unique game. Such a game that I'm just going to keep up with and keep my eyes out for future updates. Because once they drop future updates for this game, damn well I'm going to jump back into it. So if I missed anything or misinterpreted anything, let me know down below in the comment section. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Leave your thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. And I will see you, lovers, in the next video.